What's up, shipbuilders? With the release of the new Trackers Alliance quests, along with some new armor, I simply couldn't help myself but to create the universe's most legendary bounty hunter herself, Samus. For this build, we're doing something a bit special. We will not only build her Hunter Gunship together, and trust me when I say it's one of the most powerful ships you can build in the game. All the footage you saw was on extreme difficulty and the ship didn't even break a sweat. But we're going to dive into the character creator and create our own Zero Suit Samus character too. So when you're on a hospitable planet, you can walk around without your suit and still be in character. Now, I have to start with a disclaimer that I don't pretend to be a master at this character creator. It was fun trying to put this together, but I know there will be those of you out there that take this much further and do a much better job than I did. I'm going to let the video go for a bit. I don't need to talk you through each option. You can follow along. It'll go slow enough. And if you aren't interested, I'll break this video into chapters so you can skip ahead to the ship build if you want to. Alright, let's jump into the shipbuilder. This ship is simply lethal. Perfect for that bounty hunter or even Vanguard roleplay. It has good HABS space, including a 2x2 Brig, and that Cabot Bridge with the stairs everyone loves so much. But let's start by looking at the main ship modules. First, the Pinch 8A reactor. I love this reactor for its 1950 hull points, which is the highest in the game. The next highest, the Pinch 8Z, has only 1350. Now we're sacrificing a bit of reactor power for that, but you can't find that many hull points anywhere else. For the grav drive, it's the R4000 Alpha, which gives this ship over 28 light years of jump range, which is enough to go anywhere in the galaxy and still keeps our overall mass down. For the shield, we're using the 28D Defender. I believe this is the best all-around shield in the game. It has the second highest total health and the highest health per second regeneration, plus its mass is 70 less than the shield with slightly higher total health, the Assurance SG-1800. Now, if you want more info on these specific ship system choices, take a look at my recent video that dives deep on the best ship parts for extreme difficulty. In that video, we also look at engines, and it's why I'm choosing the White Dwarf 3015 engines for this ship. These are the fastest engines in the game, so we can fly circles around our enemies, and just as importantly, boost away to recharge our shield if we get in a bad spot. You'll also notice I've hidden 2 of these underneath the ship to afford us a bit more mass. I'm so focused on that total mass figure because with 4 of these engines we need to stay just below 1020 mass in order to ensure we get not only top mobility, but top acceleration performance out of these engines. For weapons, this is a personal choice, as are all of these choices honestly. In this case, it's all particle beams and some of the best in the game. 4 PBO 175 auto Helion beams, 3 Exterminator 95 MEV auto Helion beams, and 6 Vanguard Obliterator auto projectors. Each of these weapons are the auto variants, meaning even if they're underpowered, they still have a full magazine of ammo, and with their high damage to both shields and hull, there is no enemy that will be able to challenge you with these weapons. Okay, let's see how to build this ship. For this build, I'm going to lay out all of the parts first, and then grab them and place them where they go. There will be a few that you'll need to go to specific vendors for first. Specifically that Cabot Bridge, you'll want to go to New Homestead on Titan. For the Pinpoint 4G Plus landing gear, you'll need 3 of those, so go to Taiyo, Astroneering, and Neon Core to pick those up. And for the reactor, and your weapons, and a 2x2 Brig HAB, go to Stroud-Eklund Staryard in the Narion system. The rest of the build we can complete at our Outpost landing pad. Now I'm going to lay out most all these pieces, but some of them will actually be certain variants, and so as we use them, I'm on Xbox, so I'll use the D-pad to flip them to their other variants. I'll try to call that out when I do that, but just know that that's a possibility, and so the part shape might look a little bit different when we actually go to use it. For the fuel tanks, I'm going to put on 2 of these 500T helium fuel tanks. We may actually technically not need this much fuel. That will depend on your character's astrodynamic skill and whether you have Sarah Morgan on your crew. So you should be able to jump anywhere in the galaxy, but it really just depends on how many loading screens you want along the way. So again, that's going to be a personal choice. Then we've got our 3 landing gear. Again, you'll have to pick those up from Taiyo Astroneering, and our R4000 grav drive. Next for the HAB, I went with this Stroud 2x2 Brig. There are various other manufacturers that have a 2x2 Brig. Again, HABs are completely a personal choice. What I do try and get at least is one of the control station HABs, whether it's an actual control station or an empty one, because that'll give us some more crew slots. And I do like to have a bit of crew on my ship because they give us additional bonuses that maximizes our performance. There's our Pinch 8A reactor, and let's get that 28T Defender shield. If you haven't watched my last video on extreme difficulty, I recommend you do so. There's some interesting findings on shield regen rate and what that actually means and how that 28T Defender rose to the top of the list. For structural pieces, we're going to have a few of these Nova cowling pieces. Now the names of these pieces aren't the friendliest, so just know that we're going to use a lot of Nova pieces for this ship. They have kind of a rounded, more organic look that I think fits the Metroid gunship a little nicer, so that's why we're using those. And we're going to have a couple of these Stroud-Eklund pieces, so I'm going to just lay out one of each of these right now, but we'll end up copying these and flipping them or changing them to the other variants once we actually put the ship together. So to actually start putting the pieces together, that Deimos landing bay we're going to flip backwards, so we'll enter from the back of the ship, and the docker we'll put on the end of that. So we won't actually access the docker directly from the landing bay. We'll come in to the ship via a ladder from the docker up into this 1x1, and then from the 1x1 that'll connect to a 2x1, and we'll put our captain's quarters there. Again, HAB choice, totally up to you. We could just do a 3x1 spanning that whole length there, completely your choice. But that'll lead us into the bottom of the bridge, and again that bridge has the stairs that lead us up to the 2nd level. Our reactor sits right on the back of our ship, so we'll place that at the very back, and the grav drive is right behind, or right in front of the reactor. Now at this point, before I get too many additional pieces on, all of these pieces that are kind of underneath the top shell are going to be a dark black. The underneath of this ship is black, so I'm going to go ahead and select all those and paint them. I think I'll apply the paint as we go along. So just the darkest black that you can get. The fuel tanks, you'll see here, they sit on either side of that 1x1 HAB, and that makes room between the bridge and those fuel tanks for these engines. So these are the 2 engines that are hidden underneath the ship, where you can't see them while you're flying, but they provide us some additional jump thrust, engine and maneuvering thrust, so that we can have a bit more mass and still get top performance. So we'll color each of these pieces that dark black as well. And now for that 2nd layer, we're going to grab our brig. You'll see there's kind of a nice 2x2 or 2x3 area between our bridge now and the pieces on the back of our ship, so these will slot there. And we're going to paint this kind of this bright orange Metroid color. So these go right behind the bridge. And before I get too far down the road, let's go ahead and put these landing gear on while we can still see what we're doing. So we'll paint these our dark black. These will attach one underneath each fuel tank. It's an easy way to know where they go. And then one just kind of on the frontmost center connection point there of that 2x1 hat. Now our shield will fit right behind our engine and right in front of that fuel tank. So there's just enough space there to fit that small shield generator. And now it's really just a few structural pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and paint these our orange color first, because I'm going to copy some of these a few times, so I might as well just paint them now. This Novacalon 2L piece, we're going to copy this, change the variant twice to get a backward facing version, and that will attach. It actually attaches to the fuel tank, and the backward one there holds together the front one, because there's not many connection points along the sides. So we'll copy these and flip them individually and attach them to the other side. That starts to give us a bit more of a rounded shape. Above those, we'll put this Novacalon, copy this, flip it to or change the variant once to get one to put behind it. So again, copy, change the variant, and then connect it. Now this Novacalon 1L will have one of these kind of on each side of our HABS up top. And I actually forgot to place another Novacalon piece when I was laying out all of our pieces. So I'll need to do that in just a minute. First I'm going to color our grav drive orange, because that's going to sit on top of our ship and we'll see that. These engines we'll color black. We can place these on the back now. These attach one to each of the fuel tanks. And then let's find that other Novacalon. Again, change the variant. We'll color it orange. This will go behind the other Novacalons on the top there. Give kind of that shoulder look. Those Novacalons also have a lot of weapon mounts, which is nice because we're going to have a lot of weapons on this ship. So we'll take this Stroud cap, change the variant to get it backward facing, and then copy it, flip it around, and slot it in on the other side. Now there's one more piece other than the weapons. I'm actually going to put an equipment mount right on top in the center here just to fit even more weapons. Because with these auto weapons you may as well have as many as you can, given they can all come with a full magazine. So let's find our Vanguard Obliterator auto-projectors and our Exterminator 95 MUV auto Helion beams, and then the PBO 175 auto Helion beams. Now these Vanguard Obliterators, you can have 6 of these, which is what makes them so powerful. And instead of copying each of those again, I'm just going to delete that Nova piece and copy the whole thing. That'll copy the weapons over too. These Exterminators, we can have 3 of these. So that's why that equipment mount in the middle, just to keep things kind of symmetrical. And then the PBOs, you can have 4 of those. These will fit underneath on these other Novacalons. That's it for our weapons. Now we just need to apply a coat of paint to the bridge. And the bridge, we need to give 3 different colors because it needs to take on the look of Samus's helmet. So we've got this kind of bright red, the bright neon green, and then the orange. Now just assigning our weapons. With all particle beams, I just pick whatever slot. And that's it for this ship. I hope you enjoy it. It's one of the most powerful combat ships you can build in the entire game. It's fast, lightweight, quick, yet still has decent HAB space, and it's perfect for the new Trackers Alliance add-on. And until next time, keep building.